Word of warning before we watch this video, some of it's going to sound pretty salesy as if I'm trying to sell you something, but I promise I'm not. I actually have something free to give you away at the end of this, so make sure you keep watching. GAA players love making life difficult for themselves. I've seen it firsthand coaching them over the last 6 years. Players get comfort from doing more work. Running faster, lifting heavier in the gym, training every single day of the week, thinking that the right answer is always doing more work. The funny thing is the players aren't shy of hard work. And probably the big thing from this, it's actually admirable that players are willing to train every single day of the week. I guarantee if you told a player you have to go and train 10 times a week in order to get to this next level, I'd say 90% of them would probably go and do it, which is class. But it doesn't have to be that way. The issue here is that players are constantly running themselves into the ground. Yes, they're doing the right things in the gym, they're on the pitch, doing their speed work, doing action conditioning, and on paper, they're ticking all the right boxes. But the devil's in the details when it comes to this stuff. There's no point in working like a maniac all week, but still feeling and performing like shit when it comes to game day. When you do that, you're left wondering, what is the actual issue here? And 90% of the time, you'll probably come back to it that you feel like you're not doing enough work. And then the process repeats itself, you run yourself into the ground again. Then you aim to start doing more work again, and ultimately you just keep digging yourself into a deeper hole and not getting anywhere. Performances continue to dip, your energy's on the floor, you're doubting yourself before every single training session, and the enjoyment is completely out the window. It's the last place that you want to be as a GAA player. But this is where our potential performance pathway comes into play. And again, I'm not trying to sell you something here, I promise. The potential performance pathway is a holistic GAA S&C program that gives players the experience professional level coaching, take your potential to performance, and ultimately take you from surviving to thriving week in, week out. We look after your speed and conditioning on the pitch, your strength, power and robustness in the gym. We structure that around your team training games, as well as looking at your nutrition strategy to make sure that you're fueling properly, recovering effectively, but also managing your body composition in between, so you actually look and feel like an athlete in the process. With the potential performance pathway, we essentially remove all the guesswork, so all you need to focus on is showing up and doing the work with the confidence of knowing that every base is covered. And by executing on that plan, you're committing to hitting faster speeds, building explosive strength, and developing a powerful engine so you can get up and down the pitch repetitively, while in the process earning that confidence and finally taking your potential to performance. So hopefully with that explanation, you can see a difference in how we do things compared to players who've done things in the past. And I get it, I'm not trying to have a pop at players here. At the end of the day, you just don't know what you don't know. You see so much stuff on Instagram, YouTube, you hear different conversations from just players in your club of what they're doing and what the right way is, what they've learned from someone else and it's been passed down from someone else. There are so many different ways to skin a cat, but there's some things that are right and some things that are wrong. I don't want to say that things are right and wrong because you need to know the context behind it. But with the problem of players constantly feeling like they could be doing more and they're not getting what they should be from their own training, then there's something that's not going to plan. If we look at how players generally show up when it comes to their S&C or comes to their own training, they think working harder and doing more work equals better. Things are clunky, they're not fluid, they're doing a wee bit of gym here, a wee bit of gym there, they're doing the odd speed session, they're doing a fucking high intensity conditioning session once in the blue moon, and there's no fluidity, there's no long-term plan. It doesn't all fit together. You have different coaches looking after different areas. You have your team sport coaches, you might go to a PT to do a bit of strength work, you might go to a running coach to do a bit of conditioning, but they all have their own different biases and they mightn't be the most equipped person to understand the demands of GAA and what you actually need as a player. If we don't have any coaches, we're going off our own knowledge, which is maybe coming from the likes of bodybuilders in the gym, seeing what other players are doing, and maybe what we've grown up looking at on YouTube. Essentially it comes down to we have a lack of clarity and a lack of confidence in what we're actually doing. We're throwing shit at the wall and just hoping that it sticks. You're in the gym, yes you're sprinting, yes you're doing a bit of running. It's maybe not as consistent, it's not as structured, it's not as planned, and ultimately you just end up running yourself into the ground. If we flip that and we look at what we're delivering inside the potential to performance pathway, we have a holistic approach, so we're covering all the physical qualities that we need, but we're doing the right type of work at the right amounts, at the right times. So yes, you can improve in each physical quality, but you're also fresh and ready to perform and able to recover in between sessions so that you're at your best for team trainings and game day, because that's the aim of the game at the end of the day. There's no point in doing all this work in the gym, all this work on the pitch and run yourself into the ground if you look, feel and perform like shit in team training and game day. And we also have coaches who have been through the process themselves and ultimately walk the walk and continue to play and perform to a high standard week in, week out. Now, here's the catch. I told you I wasn't going to sell you something, and I'm going to stick by that. I've just created a free guide on how I would build out your own personal performance plan in 5 simple steps. Inside this 5-step series, I'll give you a clear structure around your training, nutrition, and your lifestyle using our P2P pathway. In those 5 steps, we're going to look at reviewing where you're currently at, what's going well, what's not going so well, and what areas we actually need to improve on. We'll look at your current team training schedule and how we can work our new plan around that. We'll look at how to build your own S&C program and plug that into your weekly training schedule. Look at building out your nutrition strategy to make sure you're fueling properly, recovering effectively, and managing your body composition at the same time. And we'll also look at the high performance habits that are going to help you take your potential to performance. To get access to your free 5-step personal performance plan, click the link in the description down below. Word of warning, there is a wee bit of work on your end in order to build out the 5 steps, but if you follow the plan and you follow those 5 steps, you will have a structured plan to know exactly what you need to be doing. But more importantly, you're also going to understand how and why it fits together, and you're no longer just going to be guessing your way through things. Before we finish up here, there's one big thing that drives me to be a better player, athlete, coach, and not go back to where I was before. You probably have been here at some stage yourself, and probably as players and athletes, we're always going to experience some form of fear, self-doubt, and just questioning where we're at. Coming from the occasional dip in form, picking up some sort of injury, maybe not making the team, and just constantly wondering, have I actually done enough? And it's completely normal to have these thoughts every now and again. Things always aren't going to feel so positive and easy. But when those feelings do come around, it's not the nicest of places to be. And personally, I've experienced it for a full season myself, where I fucked about a bit more than I should have done. I wasn't doing the work that I should have been doing, and I was annoyed, frustrated at myself, and not performing to the level that I knew I could have been. I just left wondering, what if at every single game? What if I just did the work? How would I have performed? What could I have brought to the table? How would the team season have been different? And that was just at a small level. The good thing was I had the opportunity to fix it and put it right for the following season. But imagine that feeling hitting you when you're 40 years of age, you've hung the boots up, and you're going into some other sport to try and create that same buzz as you had whenever you're stepping out onto the pitch in championship day. In that moment, are you satisfied with the shift that you put in, or are you thinking, fuck, I could have done so much more there? Even just thinking and talking about that right now is actually making me uncomfortable and a bit sick in the stomach. Think of what that feeling would be like at the end of your playing days where you have no more games left. Like, fuck that, time to get back to work. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with the 5-step performance program here. I want to give you everything that you need that's going to take your performance to the next level and leave no stone unturned, and make sure that you actually take your potential to performance once and for all. So click the link in the bio and hit subscribe while you're at it.